Welcome to the Lend-Lease Project Information Management System Staff Tutorial Series, PIMs IFDVs. In this tutorial video, we will cover the in-field design variation function within PIMs. We will start with the SAM chosen, layers loaded, and an asset selected. During our variations video, we made several changes to the apartment building we now have selected. Changes to design spec may require the creation and filing of an IFDV report. PIMs has a function to help create and manage these reports called the Asset IFDV form. Let's take a look at just one of the changes we made and how we would create an IFDV for it within PIMs. Remember that you will have to complete and attach any client-required IFDV documentation, line diagrams, or supporting photographs. Ensure you understand your project-specific IFDV guidance by reaching out to your construction manager or training specialist. With our asset selected, our first step is to go to the IFDV page. To do so, click or tap the Asset menu and select the IFDV option. This will open the main page for IFDVs. As our apartment building has no in-field design variations at the moment, let's create one for the tap we added. There are three options to create a new form. Underground covers changes to assets such as ducts or pits, and covers such tasks as the addition of new cable runs, new pits, or changes to pit sizes. Aerial handles above ground, suspended, or pole-mounted works and SOR changes such as the removal of unnecessary build items, the addition of new poles, or the relocation of a planned upgrade. The last option, copper, covers changes to network architecture such as cable gauge changes, pair changes, or new copper elements such as our tap. Let's click the copper button to open our new IFDV creation form. Our IFDV form has a number of fields for us to fill in. The first is the NBN IFDV number. When creating an IFDV, you won't have this number yet. This number is given to you by your client once they have reviewed and accepted your in-field design variation. We'll cover that step in more depth later. For now, leave this field blank. The internal reference number is a unique ID PIMs will assign to the IFDV you have created once you complete the form. You can use this number to easily track the IFDV in Tableau or find the IFDV in PIMs to make additions such as your NBN IFDV number. The third field is your IFDV type field. Opening this will let you select from a number of default copper design variation types. If you have questions on what type to use, speak with your construction manager. For our new tap, we'll use New Copper Element. The Category drop box contains three options. Category 0 IFDVs are those that, by contract, do not require client approval. Category 1 variations are those that do. Category 99 IFDVs are changes to design that are given to Lend-Lease by the client. Before selecting a category, ensure that you understand your project's rules for IFDV category selection or reach out to an experienced member of your local office team for assistance. Our additional tap falls under Category 1, so we'll select that now. If your access level permits, you will be able to file IFDVs and PIMs on behalf of others, and you will be able to select that person from the Raised By Dropbox list. By default, your name will be selected in this box. The Raised During Dropbox gives us three stages of the work process to select. Use Design Review if you are filing the IFDV during the pre-construction phase of a SAM, or As Built for IFDVs filed retrospectively. As we are requesting this tap addition after construction in our SAM has begun, but before it has completed, we'll use Construction. The Date Raised block defaults to the current date according to your device. This can be changed if you are delayed completing an IFDV form by clicking on the Date field and selecting the correct date from the calendar. IFDVs should always be filed the day the change requirement is discovered, whenever possible. The next field is your Date Approved field, and like the NBN IFDV number, This is a field that you'll complete once your client returns a response to your submitted IFDV. Like the Date Raised field, clicking this box will open a calendar from which you can select the appropriate date once you've received your response. For now, leave this field blank. The Date Sent field is used to track client response times and to ensure no IFDVs slip through the cracks into the completion stages of the SAM. Once all client-required paperwork is completed and submitted to the appropriate office, return to your IFDV and PIMs to add the date into this field. For now, we'll leave it blank. Our first open text block is the Reasons section of the form. In this field, use brief and clear language to communicate why the variation to designed work is required. For the fictional tap requirement to our training asset, we'll state that the location and number of units supported creates the need for our additional tap. The Notes text block should be used to communicate other key details. Again, using brief and clear language, you should include the SORs affected and, if applicable, other information such as the nature of an unsafe design element, relocation details, or other assets affected by your variation. Once you've completed the first part of your form, move on to the Details section. If any of the items from the checklist on your IFDV form apply, select them here, even if previously covered in your IFDV type, reason, or notes fields. If cable sizes are changed by your design variation, detail the new cable size in the New Gauge box. If your variation relocates an asset such as a pit, trench, or cable run, use GPS coordinates to detail the change in the New Location box. If your variation affects wire pairs, input new range information in the New Pair Range box. As our additional tap does not affect these fields, we'll leave them blank. The third step is to attach our client-required documentation and supporting diagrams to our IFDV. In order to do so, simply click the Add File button and select the appropriate files from your device's memory or hard drive. Once you've attached your files, review your IFDV form to ensure you've completed all fields correctly, and then click or tap the Create IFDV button on the bottom right of your screen. The page will reload with a green status bar on top informing you your IFDV was successfully created and your internal reference box will now be populated. Save the internal reference number for later so that you can easily find your IFDV to add submission dates, accepted dates, and client IFDV numbers. Once you've saved the number, close the screen to continue working within PIMs. Let's say the time has passed and you're ready to add information to the IFDV you created. To do so, return to the asset you created the IFDV against and go to the IFDV page. Your IFDV will now be listed on this page with options to edit it or delete it entirely. If there are multiple IFDVs against this asset, you can determine which is yours by using the internal reference number. Let's click Edit to open the form and add our dates. For this example, let's say submission to the client is complete. We simply go to the Dates Sent box, click the empty field, and select the date from the calendar. If the client had responded to our variation submission, we'd add their assigned IFDV number to the NBN IFDV number field and the date of their reply to the Date Approved field. Then scroll down and click the Update IFDV button to save our addition to the form.